We're ready? Right on the set. Standing by. Standing by.
You send me a picture? Because right now, I have to count.
Me neither, Jane. I like my pictures too, please.
Six, five, four, three.
Good morning to members of the media. The public may recall last November that the Bermuda Netball Association expressed health and safety concerns over the state of the government-owned netball courts at Bernard Park. Due to weather and frequent use, the asphalt surface of the courts had become dangerously eroded. As a result, a decision was made in December to temporarily close the courts until the Department of Youth Sport could complete the necessary repairs. While these repairs are underway, we still recognize that there was a need to find a location so that the BNA could continue their leagues. So today, I'm happy to announce that a temporary solution for the BNA to resume their Saturday leagues, thanks to Whitney Middle School and the Cedar Bridge Academy, who have generously offered to share their facilities until the end of the season. For the time being, the Bermuda Netball Association will use the outside courts at Whitney Middle School for continuing their junior leagues and the indoor gymnasium at Cedar Bridge Academy for the senior league. I extend my deepest gratitude to the principal of Whitney Institute Middle School, Ms. Rashima Swan, and MP Jason Wade, the chairman of the board at Cedar Bridge Academy, for coming to the assistance of the BNA. The Department of Youth and Sport will further assist by marking the courts, providing bleachers and equipment to Whitney Middle School in the interim, while they continue investigating a full scope of repairs required at the Bernard Park facility, as well as coming up with the most effective course of action. With over 400 registered players on the island, netball is a huge sport for Bermuda. And for those who use the courts at Bernard Park, had suffered setbacks to their practice facility for far too long. Before this most recent closure, a series of vandalism acts in recent years, coupled with social distancing requirements enforced over the pandemic, has made it very difficult for players to maintain their practice comfortably and safely. I wish to assure the public that the Ministry of Youth, Culture, and Sport values the importance of netball in our community. And we are committed to finding a permanent solution that will meet the needs of all parties. While this is still an ongoing project, I'm grateful to the public and all invested parties for their patience and collaboration as we continue working together to support local athletes. Thank you.
Good morning. Cedar Bridge Academy is excited to welcome the BNA to our facility. We have the indoor basketball courts that we're going to be converting into netball courts, and we have our outdoor tennis courts that we're going to make available for their training sessions in the evening. So we're excited. We know that the Bermuda Netball Association is the largest women's sport on the island, and we're excited to welcome them to our facility, and we're looking forward to a continued relationship with them here at Cedar Bridge Academy after the season is over. So I'll pass it on to the president of the BNA.
Good morning. On behalf of the Bermuda Netball Association, I would like to publicly thank Youth Sport and Recreation for their support through this. We would also like to thank Whitney as well as Cedar Bridge Academy for them coming on board and assisting us in during this time. I mean, it's been very, very difficult and it's been very, very trying for all of us. In addition, I would hugely like to thank the Bermuda Netball Association Executive and Council that have put in tireless hours in order to make this happen. It's definitely something that has been in the makings for a while now, and we are extremely pleased that we can continue our season. At this time, I'm going to hand it over to the project manager of the BNA, Takesha Welsh, who has put in effortless time in order to make this happen.
Thank you. For the past 5 weeks, I've been working alongside my council as well as Rashima Swan at the Whitney Institute and the Cedar Bridge Academy to secure training and game facilities for our 400 members. We are very excited to be able to report that we have made an agreement and we will be commencing our games and training sessions next week. However, we are still in need of some lighting. As the chairman of the board stated, that we are able to use these courts for training outside in the evenings. However, there's no lighting currently erected, so we are looking for lighting. Additionally, we have approximately 22 teams that will need to train. And if we're unable to secure lighting in the short term, we will have to possibly rent facilities for them to continue their training. So at this time, we're just, we're continuing our efforts as we look to start netball again and complete our season. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our partners that are around us at the present time. We really appreciate them stepping up to the plate and giving netball a home to complete our season. Thank you.
Okay.
So obviously we're missed almost a month and about, and we had rain dates as well. So has the season been extended?
So you would know that we also have a partnership with Bermuda College. So we have days that were already booked off from the beginning of the season where we have matches that take place during evenings. So the addition of Whitney as well as Cedar Bridge Academy, currently we missed 2 weeks of a tournament, say for the senior league. The junior teams have missed 2 weeks of league play, which gratefully, it doesn't make it that difficult to try and schedule them in through the week. So while we are utilizing the Cedar Bridge Academy on Saturdays for gameplay, we have been able to reach an agreement where there are 2 days through the week that we can utilize either for training and or we can utilize that to do some makeup games. So we're still looking at ending our season towards the end of March. And I mean, we're grateful that most of these venues are indoors. So it shouldn't hamper us too much in order for us to be able to get all the matches played in a timely manner.
As someone that covers all the time and sees what goes on at netball, a lot of the senior coaches also play. I mean, a lot of the junior coaches also play seniors. So getting from Whitney to Cedar Bridge Saturdays, have you rescheduled times?
Yes, we have. We definitely took all of that into consideration, understanding that we are a very small community and everyone is so involved from junior levels to senior levels. The schedules have been adjusted slightly in order to allow for those coaches that may be a part of our junior leagues and senior leagues to adapt. So we will be sending out our revised schedules, to the media as well as our membership so that they can have an idea of how this will change. I do want to say it's not going to change drastically. The more the age group that it will affect will be our 17 and under age group, because that's the group that plays just prior to the seniors. But everyone else will still be scheduled during their usual times.
What about the tournaments? It has been suggested that the tournaments were canceled as a result of this challenge you face. Is that the case?
So tournament play is a very important part of development. As you know, league play and tournament play takes on a whole different face. So it is our promise that we will still have some of our tournaments. At this time, we will definitely not be able to do them all. As I stated, for seniors, we missed 2 weeks of tournament play up to now, but we have 2 other tournaments that is scheduled into our regular schedule, and we had one prior to the closing of the Bernard Park. So we will still try our best to fit that in. Obviously, that will be based on how many makeup games potentially there will be that has to be played. But it's very important for us to get league play completed first, and then we will move on and do tournament play after.
So the ones that were scheduled at the beginning of the month, what was that?
Yes.
And what was the other one?
For the seniors, it was the Who's Who tournament, the Fast Five tournament. Yeah,
So those two can potentially still be played.
absolutely, absolutely.
And how long is this agreement where you're going to be using these facilities outside the park? How long is this?
Well, it is up for right now. It's to the end of the season, but we just hope that this is something that we can look forward to a partnership, maybe a long-term partnership. Obviously, the disarray of the netball courts has been happening for a while. It's not going to be a quick fix, and it's not going to be an easy fix, and we understand that. So we have to start planning for some other long-term solutions, and with the assistance of youth, sport, and recreation in the government and our partnerships, I think that we can reach something that will basically be beneficial to all of us.
And when are we looking to resume again? What's the earliest you're going to resume?
Saturday,
Saturday.
January the 28th.
Can I, Minister,
Sure.
as you indicated, it's been almost 5 weeks or more. What has the department been doing to kind of address the situation at Bernard Park to make it as short as possible that they can get back to where they call their home of netball?
All right. But just to give you a quick timeline, when I was made aware of the concerns and the safety concerns of the Bermuda Netball Association, the newest director in youth and sport was contacted by myself. We planned a site visit, so we went down there, and I actually did see firsthand some of the cracks and the erosion of that court. So we had a discussion, and I know you keep saying 5 weeks, but you ought to take into account that some of that was Christmas break. So we did come up with a solution that it had to be closed right away. As I think I've said in other places, I have a young daughter, and I do see, I have been down to the netball courts, and I could not fathom the possibility of a female athlete or a younger athlete getting hurt on that facility. So we went down there and we took a look. We did try to speak to another government department about kind of temporarily doing a quick fix. They did do some work. We took another site visit and said that it just was not playable. So out of an abundance of health and safety, we decided that we're going to keep it closed until we can resurface it to acceptable levels.
Is that all it really needs, resurfacing, or it needs other work?
I'm sure, as you have talked to Ms. Evans, there are a long list of items that the Bermuda Netball Association would like. It includes some things that are quick fixes, some things that, as some would say, have been generational requests. So we have it all under consideration. As you know, in these economic times, there's some things that you can do right away, and some things that will take a little longer to come up with a fix. But ultimately, as well as I know, what the Bermuda Netball Association want, and hopefully at some point we can move to that direction.